constantly seeking beauty, charm, and ecstasy. Therefore, the Lord descended into this world to distribute prema bhakti, divine love, because which nourishes the heart and fulfill all its desires. When the Lord appeared in this world, he appeared by his causeless mercy. Mercy is such a nature when the Lord descends that is not subjected to any material laws, any laws of logic or any laws of reasoning. In fact, the mercy of the Lord is available to anyone in any position of life who will simply accept it. It described by Rupa Goswami, Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna Prema Padayate, Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya, Namne Gaurati Se Namaha, Madhya Lila 19.53. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most munificent, merciful, and magnanimous of all the incarnations. Because without considering who is fit or who is unfit, he is distributing the mercy of the Lord freely to everyone. Simply chant the name of Krishna. Follow the simple principle of devotion, and your life will be fulfilled with divine love. And the ecstasy, the charm, the beauty that your heart is always seeking will be realized forever, eternally. But unfortunately, even the Supreme Lord Himself appears. Many will not accept it. Therefore, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Lord Nityananda Prabhu to approach those persons who will not accept love of God. Those persons who are too much attached to fallen sinful activity, those who are too attached to piety in material life, those who are too much attached to mental speculation and so-called religiosity, thus due to pride, will not accept the love of Krishna, even from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. So the Lord instructed Lord Nityananda that these people, they are yours. You, Lord Nityananda, is the very essence of mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is described by Narottam Das Thakur, Vajendra Nandana Yai Sachi Sutta Haila Sai Balaram Haila Nitai, that the beautiful divine son of Sri Nanda Maharaj, Lord Gopal, he has appeared in the age of Kali Yuga in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Balramji, his eternal associate, his elder brother, and his constant companion in Brajdham, has appeared as Lord Nityananda. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appealed to Lord Nityananda that you go and without any discrimination, that who is fit or unfit, you somehow or other get everyone to accept the mercy of the holy name. And Lord Nityananda, although he is the Supreme God himself, he is appearing in the position of a devotee. In fact, in Goloka Vrindavan, we must understand that Balram, although he is Krishna himself, he is the Supreme Bhagwan. He eternally appears as the servant of Krishna in form of Shankarshan, Ananta Sesa. He is Narayan's bed, his shoes, his umbrella. He is constantly simply trying to increase the pleasure of Lord Narayan. Similarly, in the form of a Lakshmana during Ramalila, Lakshmana's only business was to give pleasure to Sri Ram. When they went into the Jarikhand forest, Lakshmana would not eat. He would not sleep. His only business was to protect Sri Ram. He was the supreme most devoted servant of Lord Ram. And similarly, that same Lakshman, that same Balram has appeared as Sri Nityananda Prabhu. His life, soul, and everything is the pleasure of Sri Gaura Sundar. He has no other ambitions, no other modes in his life. Therefore, Lord Nityananda is declared by all the Acharya to be the original spiritual master, because he is the first expansion of the Godhead and appear exclusively for the pleasure of the Godhead. So although he is Krishna, he could easily accept the same position, but he would never accept that position. Sometimes people, that Balram, he also had his Rasa Leela. He was also supreme enjoyer, but Balram never engaged in the Rasa Leela for his own enjoyment. He simply came to the Vrindavan to specify the gopis in the service of Krishna. Everything Balramji did, everything Lakshmana did, everything Anantasesh does is only exclusively for the life and soul to satisfy and to increase the enjoyment of Krishna, Ram, and Lord Narayan. He is the epitome of compassion. Lord Nityananda, he was in a sublime mood. Although he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he took the most humble position in order to satisfy Lord Gaura Sundar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Patita Pavan Avatar. That means he came especially to claim the most fallen and sinful of all living beings. And there is nothing that satisfies Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu more than distributing love of God to another. Therefore, Lord Nityananda, he would go on both bank of the Ganga and he would approach every house in every town and in every village. Anybody individually with folded palms come to the most fallen, sinful people of Kali Yuga and plead with them, take with them of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was preaching to chant the name of Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya told Nityananda that you go out and spread the glories of the chanting of the name of Krishna. But Lord Nityananda, he had the full realization. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahayanya. That Radha and Krishna have both combined of singular form of Sri Gaura Sundar Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Lord Nityananda, he understood that Lord Chaitanya is so merciful. You cannot commit an offense to him as he is so merciful. Therefore, let me convince everyone to worship Gauranga, to chant the name of Gauranga. Whoever is doing like this, that the person is my life and soul. And if they worship Sri Gaura Sundar Mahaprabhu, then they will automatically attain the love of Krishna. Automatically they will attain Vrindavan Dham. So Lord Nityananda, wherever he would go, he would sing the song Bhajo Gauranga, Kaho Gauranga, Lavo Gauranga Namare, Je Jana Gauranga, Bhajai Se Hai More, Pranare. Worship Gauranga, chant the name of Gauranga, take the mercy of Gauranga. Anyone who worships Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that person, he is my life and soul. So he would plead in this way, wherever he would go. And if someone was so hard-hearted that even won the embodiment of divine love and compassion, he was begging, take the name of Gauranga, take the name of Krishna. If they still would refuse, then the Supreme Godhead in the form of Nityananda would get on his hand and knees. He would beg, please, I beg you, do not reject me. Do not spoil your human life. Take the name of Gauranga. Worship Gauranga. If they still refuse after doing this, he laid prostrate in the ground, rolling in the dust, touching their feet, pleading with them with tears in his eyes. Do not spoil your human life. I beg you. I plead with you. I will do anything. I will eternally be your servant, but chant the holy name. In this way, there was no incarnation of God who has ever manifested such mercy. Lord Krishna to the wicked demons, he cut off their heads with his Sudarshan Chakra. That was his mercy. In this way, they attained mukti. Lord Sri Ram, with his sharpened bows and arrows, he would severely limbs the heads. He tears the heart of the asuras. In this way, they attain mukti. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with his astra, with the weapon of the holy name, he would give pure love of God to anyone who would accept it. But Lord Nityananda would not accept, no pronunciation. God himself is at your feet, begging you, rolling in the dust with tears in his eyes, waiting and anxious to be your eternal servant. If you simply take the name of Krishna, Haribol. Simply take the name of Gauranga. Therefore, in Lord Nityananda, we find the ultimate expression of the supreme mercy of God. Lord Nityananda, he was converting millions and millions of people wherever he went. He would go to towns, to cities, to the village, and he would transform the entire atmosphere, where everyone was joyfully chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and dancing in sublime ecstasy. Lord Nityananda, it is described, he has this complete dedication to fulfilling the heart's desire, Lord Chaitanya, that all living beings accept the holy name. It is described that one time Mother Sachi Devi, she had a dream. Sachi Devi was the mother of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in this dream, she was worshipping Krishna and Balram on her altar. And at that time, Lord Nityananda came and he told Balram that you must get off the altar. This altar is now for Lord Chaitanya. Krishna as appearing in Kali Yuga as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You are outdated now. In Dwapar Yuga, you want Krishna with good friends playing together. But in Kali Yuga, you are his servant, Balram says. No, I'm here with Krishna. Nityananda says, no, you come down. You became the servant. They had an argument and they began to fight. Nityananda and Balram were pulling each other. But Nityananda was more powerful and he pulled Balram down. Of course, Nityananda is Balram. But in this dream, Mother Sachi Devi could understand that in Kali Yuga, Balram appears simply as the older carrier of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Order carrier, not the older, order carrier. It is described Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally, in order to distribute love of God and gain the responsibility for his missions, he left his family life and took sannyas. And by taking sannyas, he had to be very strict to follow the principle of social etiquette. Because the people criticize a sannyasi, then mission is destroyed. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was basically preaching to great scholars like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Prakashanand Saraswati. He was preaching from place to place, town to town, village to village. But in Kali Yuga, there is so many conditions of the life. the Lord Chaitanya, due to being a sannyasi, they are too degraded for him to enter into, to freely meet with attached family member in a Grihamedi ashram. He could not do that to into the bars, the brothels, and the house of prostitution, and the place at meat eaters. The sannyasi cannot do it, especially in those days. People looked upon sannyasi with very strict eyes. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although Lord Nityananda was basically a mendicant, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu told Lord Nityananda Prabhu to marry. Why? Because then no one will criticize you. You can go to the most fallen. You can go everywhere and anywhere, and you can preach. So Lord Nityananda began to travel, and he made his base in Bengal at the home of Suryadas Pandit, who happened to be the brother of Guridas Pandit, a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. There, Suryadas Pandit gave as gift Lord Nityananda his two beautiful daughters, Jahanvi Devi and Visuddhi. Lord Nityananda was known as Avdut, which means he could go anywhere and everywhere to spread the mercy of the Lord. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally will say about Lord Nityananda that if Lord Nityananda goes into a liquor house, if he goes into a house of prostitution, if he is seen with low class, undesirable company, never criticize him. Otherwise, then you will go to hell. Because you can know he is the only there to show his causeless mercy to the most fallen. In Kali Yuga, we are all candidates of Lord Nityananda's mercy because we are all most fallen. If you do not think that you are most fallen, then you are really most fallen. There you go. So today is the appearance day of Lord Nityananda. We should understand his divine nature before attempting to understand his divine lila. He is the supreme Godhead who appears to distribute the mercy of love of God. It is described that he appeared in the holy city of Ekachakra. Ekachakra is a district of Radhadesh. It is a place where he was not very well known for being a religious place. Generally, the religious place is in India in those days were situated in the banks of holy rivers like Ganga and Yamuna. And further, you went from those holy rivers. Generally, the place has become more and more degraded. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally appeared in the holy land of Navadvip in the bank of Ganga. But he sent his eternal associate to the places of Mlechas, Yamanas, and low-class men to take birth amongst them. And that's the reason we see in India all this big population always on the bank of a river, river. Lord Nityananda born in a Brahmana family in Ekachakra, and his father's name was Rudaya Pandit, and his mother's name was Padmavati. He was the one of the most wonderful child. He had such beautiful and charming feature in every respect. In his childhood, he knew no other pleasure but being acting the pastime of Supreme Personality of Godhead. He would gather his friends together, and throughout the entire day, they would simply put on places, being acting the pastime of the Lord. One of his friends would pretend to be Bhumi, Mother Earth, in the form of cow, Another friend would pretend to be Lord Brahma, and she would plead with Lord Brahma, please, the demons in the form of kings are causing me great difficulties. And they would approach ocean of milk, and another friend would take the form of Lord Vishnu, and he would say, all you demigods, you all take birth in the Yadu and the Yadu dynasty, and I will soon appear as Lord Sri Krishna. So sometime his friend, they would pretend to be Devaki and Vasudeva to give birth to Krishna. Sometimes one friend would play Putana and another friend would jump on him and suck his breast and kill him. Sometimes his friend would play Agashura, Krishna conscious Dhenukashura. In this way, Kesi demon, Dhenukashura. In this way, they would act all these transcendental pastimes, and everyone was struck with thunder. How do they know these pastimes? They never heard them. They have never studied them. They are just little children. So Lord Nityananda was very fond of organizing these beautiful dramas all day long. And sometimes they would go and take cows, and all day long they would just herd the cows and dance with their sticks and play flutes and pretend to be Krishna and Balram and the cowherd boys. And then they would come home. They would break into the entire neighbor's house and steal the butter and steal the yogurt. People were stuck with wonder. Nobody minded. Everyone is full of affection toward them. Everyone simply wanted to hold Nityananda in their hands. His body was soft like a butter. They just wanted to embrace him and love him. So their affection to him. One time, he was playing the role as a small child of Lakshman, and another child was taking the part of Raman. And Lakshman challenged Raman, and the Raman took that great empowered Shakti Astra and threw it at Lakshmana. Of course, what they are using in game for the powerful weapon of Ravana was the lotus flower. So he threw this beautiful soft lotus flower and hit Lord Nityananda in the chest. And Lord Nityananda, playing Lakshmana, fell to the ground and went completely unconscious. There was not any sign of life in the body. And all his friends gathered around and they talked, my God, he has no life. He is dead. And they all began to cry. They did not know what to do. And then Lord Nityananda's parent came, Padmavati and Hadai Pandit. They were gathered around and they were crying. What are we supposed to do? There is no life in his body. They were doing everything they could to try to revitalize his life, but nothing worked. He lay there completely motionless and silent. Everyone in entire Ekachakra was in great dilemma. Their life and soul was lying there, lifeless. What to do? They could not understand what a just lotus flower touched him. Why he is like this? Then someone watching, he said, I know what the problem is. Recently, he was playing the Leela of Dasrath, and he also fainted and appeared like this. When of his friend was playing around, has left him. So he went to cure Lord Nityananda, who is playing Lakshmana. Then we have to call Hanuman to get the Gandhamadana mountain. So then one of the children put on the dress of Hanuman. He said, I'm Hanuman, I'll get the mountain. Then the children remembered, before we started playing this game, Lord Nityananda told us that if I fall unconscious, get that mountain and bring it here. But they forgot. Now they are remembered. So one of his friends playing Hanuman, he began running, and so many other friends playing Rakshasas. They were trying to stop him. He was defeating, smashing them all. And finally he came and he brought the mountain. Another friend played a physician, and he took the mountain and put it next to Nityananda's nose. And then Nityananda stood up, and everyone began to embrace him. In this way, he spent his wonderful childhood. Day and night he was completely immersed in the Leela of the Lord. They asked him, how is it that you know perfectly all the lines of the Shastras? We have never taught you any of these things. Then he would reply that I have simply speaking what I have spoken in my previous incarnations. And everyone would just laugh because they don't believe him. When he was 12-year old, one day a sannyasi came to the house of Hriday Pandit. Hriday Pandit, being a very gentle and pure-hearted devotee of the Lord, he offered a nice sitting place to the sannyasi. And he offered him nice food. He offered a place to sleep at night. And he offered all his services. Then, in the next morning, just before the sannyasi was about to leave, Hriday Pandit said, whatever I have is yours. Is there any way I can show you? What the sannyasi said? Yes, it is. He said, I'm traveling alone and will be most helpful to me if I have very nice Brahmana as a servant and associates. I would like to take your elder son Nityananda with me. And when Hriday Pandit heard this, he didn't know what to do. He was like a sharp, flaming arrow, tears in his heart. He began to consider, I have promised him to give him everything that I have. I cannot break my word. But at the same time, I cannot live without my son. He is everything to me. So he began to think about how Dasarath Maharaj, in order to preserve the principle of truth and respect those who are in renounced order, he gave his son Ram and Lakshman away to Vishwamitra Muni. Even you know what's difficult for him. So he was thinking that I must follow in the footsteps of these great souls, however painful may be. So he went to his wife Padmavati and said, what should I do? And she, being a very faithful and very loving wife, so how Padmavati responded? She said, my dear husband, whatever you decide is what I decide. So with tears in his eyes, he went to the Brahmana. He said, if you really want my son, then you can take. Now, Lord Nityananda, he wanted to be with him and preach the glories of the Lord. But he knew that his mother and father were so much attached to him. He could not break their hearts. So when the sannyasi came, he accepted this divine arrangement, and he left home. As soon as he left, Hriday Pandit fell unconscious. He could not bear the separation. He was simply crying day and night. He was drowning in an ocean of grief. There was nothing in life that had any meaning or favor to him without the presence of Nitai. Maybe those feelings may arise in our heart. He remembered the day where everywhere he went, he bring his son Nitai. When he go to the market, Nitai would be behind him, and he would be looking around, making sure he was right always with him, always worried for his welfare. Indeed, wherever he went, he could not bear a moment's separation from his loving son. And now, his son going into the forest with the sannyasi. It was too much for him to bear. He could not eat. He could not sleep. He could only wail in a piteous voice with tears streaming from his eyes day and night. Because he was always absorbed in thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His life was somehow or other being maintained without it, without sleep. Haribol. In the past, last due to the affliction of an utterly broken heart, he left his body and went to the eternal abode of Vaikuntha. Haribol. Meanwhile, it is described that Lord Nityananda began to travel all the holy places. First, he went to Gaya and he worshipped the beautiful footprints of Vishnu Gadadhar. Then he went to Kashi to worship Vishwanath Murti. Then he traveled the holy place of Mathura. There he bathed in Vishnu Ghats and played in the beautiful water of Yamuna. He went to all the 12 forests of Vrindavan, and he was so happy in the mood of a cowherd boy, identifying his previous incarnation of Balram. Haribol. He would simply play with children, herd with the cows, and enjoy the sweet atmosphere of the supreme abode of Braj. It is described that he was so absorbed in happiness of being in Vrindavan, he did not ever consider eating or sleeping. When someone came of their own accord to offer him some little bit of milk, sometime he would accept it. Lord Nityananda is showing us what the real love of God is. Everything can be minimized. Then he continued his journey, his pilgrimage. He traveled very widely. While he was in eastern India, he met the most exalted of all spiritual personalities. His name was Madhavendra Puri. When he approached Madhavendra Puri, who is considered by all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas to be the very root of love of God, it is through Madhavendra Puri's love that Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda received either directly or indirectly the initiation. So when Lord Nityananda met with Madhavendra Puri, when they saw each other, their eyes, they were filled with love. They were stunned. They both offered their obeisances to one another and began to embrace. Madhavendra Puri had such a love for Lord Nityananda, understanding that he was the Supreme God himself. He could not let him go from his loving embrace. As they embraced, tears flowed from their eyes. Their hair stand on end. Their limbs started shivering in transcendental ecstasy. and all the disciples of Madhavendra Puri were simply struck with wonder. Lord Nityananda spoke. He said that I have traveled throughout the holy place, but until today my heart's desire are not fulfilled. Because indeed, wherever the pure servant of Krishna is, all the holy places reside within his feet. Lord Nityananda and Madhavendra Puri remained together for many days and many nights. And throughout the days and throughout the night, they shared their pleasure of Krishna Katha. They discussed Krishna amongst each other. It is described that their happiness knew no bounds. Because although both of them are wandering to holy places throughout the land, most of sannyasis, most of sadhus, most all so-called holy men did not understand the real essence of love of God. But in each other they saw the association of the true devotees of Krishna. Madhavendra Puri felt such happiness. He described that never I have experienced such a love of God is in your association. Indeed, whatever Lord Nityananda may be, whatever his lotus feet is, anyone who is there in Vaikuntha is the supreme embodiment of highest charity, the distribution of pure bhakti. Therefore, anyone who meets such a person is most fortunate amongst all men. After spending some days together, Lord Nityananda continued on his journey to the various places. He traveled to Setubandha, Rameswaram, Srirangam, Tirupati. Indeed, he went to all the holy places, and then he went to the north, Ayodhya, Chitrakoot, Prayag. He went to Badrikashram, and there he met with Srila Vyasadeva. And Srila Vyasadeva, seeing him, is in his none other than his worshipable Lord Balram, and worshipped the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Haribol. After traveling all these holy places, he returned to Vrindavan, where he decided to stay, and he had a vision. He had a vision that his eternal brother, Lord Sri Krishna, was performing high divine lila in Navadvip Dham in Bengal. But he was still acting like an ordinary little boy. He had not yet established his mission of the Sankirtan movement. So Lord Nityananda decided he would simply wait in Vrindavan until the signal came that the Lord had begun the Sankirtan movement. So in a vision, after 20 years traveling to various holy places and in living in Vrindavan, at that time he could understand within the core of his heart that Lord Chaitanya is now leading the devotees to the street with his arm raised, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Lord Nityananda also went to Navadvip. So he left Vrindavan. And then he went to Navadvip. He did not announce his arrival to anyone, but he went to the home of Nandanacharya. The next morning, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approached his devotees and he said, "Last night I had a wonderful dream. I saw an extraordinary chariot appear. It had the flag of palm tree, which is the chariot sign of Lord Balram. And there was a very large and beautiful personality on that chariot. And he was repeating over and over again, where is the house of Nimai Pandit? He said, this extraordinary person, I could understand that last night he has arrived in Navadvip. He is none other than Balram himself. You must go out and you must find him. So the devotees headed by Srivas Thakur and Haridas Thakur, they went out and they went to every home and every marketplace and inquired, have you seen the wonderful personality that had come? And after searching everywhere, they came back and they told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we cannot find such a person. So the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, I will then personally lead the way. And at last, they came to the house of Nandana Acharya. From within the house, Lord Nityananda was seeing the effulgence like millions of moons. And he and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first met. They both stood stunned, unable to speak, with eyes glued to one another in divine love. Indeed, Lord Nityananda at last fell down in ecstasy onto the ground, and Lord Chaitanya embraced him, and they embraced. Rivers of tears are flowing from their eyes. It was then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda began to dance and chant together in the holy kirtan of the name of Krishna. And it was that from point that Lord Nityananda, in the loving service of Sri Gaurasundar, would travel everywhere possible to deliver the holy name. So it is described that without gaining the mercy of Lord Nityananda, one cannot properly approach the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The supreme auspicious of this day, it is our good fortune that we are going to have the program in the evening also to celebrate the appearance of Lord Nityananda, and we are lucky to have His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhu. He will be describing some more pastimes of Lord Nityananda. So we have to come together to pray for His causeless mercy, to understand our fallen condition in Kali Yuga, and to beg Lord Nityananda to be kind upon us. Lord Nityananda is manifesting himself to the spiritual master. The spiritual master is the representative of Lord Nityananda. The mercy of Lord Nityananda can easily be attained by worshipping him under the guidance of a bona fide guru. So let us take it very seriously, the Lord's supreme kindness in this most divine incarnation. As we have seen in this wonderful play, even though Lord Nityananda was rudely abused both verbally and physically by Jagai and Madai, his only motive was of compassion. He did not care that his head was brutally cut with the blow with fit to kill 10 men. He did not care that they blasphemed to him with so many insults. His only concern was that they were suffering due to sinful activities. And therefore, rather than anger, he responded with compassion. Aha Prabhu Nityananda, Premananda Sukhi. Anyone who understands the mercy of Nityananda will become supremely happy in this world. So let us try to understand the nature of his mercy and how to receive his mercy. It is very simply accept the name of Krishna. We simply accept the chanting of the holy name, and we give up our sinful activities. That is all it is required. That is the great opulence of the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It is said that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would always present in four places. One of these four places were wherever Lord Nityananda was dancing. His dancing was so graceful and so beautiful that anywhere and everywhere he would dance. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his spiritual body would manifest himself there to watch and to take part in that kirtan. And we hear today this morning beautiful song by Lochandas Thakur. The Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda have descended to teach the simple process of chanting and dancing and feasting. So there is no greater way to receive the mercy of Lord Nityananda than to absorb our mind, to absorb our senses, to absorb our body, everything in the holy name. To eagerly chant with great enthusiasm. So on this great occasion, we are giving this opportunity to glorify Lord Nityananda by enthusiastically and eagerly part in the chanting of the holy name. So it would be wonderful that throughout the day, as many rounds as we can chant and remember Lord Nityananda, it would be a great day for all of us. If possible, we should take off and chant the holy name as much as possible. So we will, if you are living in Houston, we will see you in the evening. If you are in other town, you will be also attending your temple Nityanand Prabhu Appearance Day celebration. So I think with those thoughts we got so much instructions by simply Nityanand Prabhu just appear to give us the holy name. And that's why Nityanandam Aham Nomi Sarva Anand Karam Param Hari Nam Pradam Devam Avduta Shiromani. That he had just come to give us the holy name so we can become happy. So this is the message Nityananda is giving us. So we should become more and more strong to remain steadfast. It's not that easy. So many difficulties, obstacles will come in our life to sway it away from waking up early and chanting the holy name. But brother and sister, just remember that this chanting will only open up the door for us to realize our identity and to re-establish our relationship with Krishna. As it says that human form of life is very rare to achieve, and as we have achieved it, we should utilize just to perfect that mission for what reason the human body has been given to us. That is the real use of the human form of life, not working like a cats and dogs and asses. We need to relax in our life. We need to have peaceful life, and only way we can live a peaceful life is to live a very simple life. Reduce the necessities of this body as much as you can. And you will see something will sprung up in your heart, and then you will become fixed that, hey, this is the time at 2 o'clock, nobody is bothering me. Let me get up and chant more holy name, and our life will become successful. So thank you very much, all of you, to be kind to me, to wake up early in the morning despite your household responsibility. Sorry that we ran 6 minutes late, but I think it's worth to dwell in our heart. So those impressions may always remain throughout the year. So we remain steadfast. All other things will be useless at the end of the life. And then we will realize why I spent so much time for this, which has no value for me. So hope that those thoughts never appear in our mind and heart by dedicating our life to the holy name. Thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhaivacha
Patitanam
pavane
Pavanam
Thank you very much. And nice to see these young children are joining every morning. They are so nice. How much austerity they are taking.